Right.
All right, it's 9:32. We'll call the meeting to order. First item of the approval of the agenda. Make motion to approve it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes, October 31st, 2023 board meeting.
I would like to make a possible suggestion for correction.
Good.
Before we act on it, the, where me as vice chair made the motion for the salary, it didn't get a second. The last part of that says, failed to elect, so a second, it says item will be tabled until November 14th, all agreed. That last part is not quite.
Because I sent an email to all three of you guys. And I got a response back that it wasn't ready to be decided on.
Okay, so you're basing it on that,
Right,
as opposed to what happened at the meeting.
right.
Okay.
Because I mean, I sent you guys an email.
Yeah,
And
okay.
you didn't respond to it. I think Brian or Darren or one of them did.
Okay. Then I'll be fine. I'll make the motion to accept the minutes.
Sure. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Canvas, November 7th, 2023 city school election first tier.
The following is the true and correct abstract of the votes cast in this county at the Waco County City School election held on the 7th day of November, 2023. For mayor of agency, Jake Johnson, write-in candidate, received 28 votes for a candidate total of 28 votes. Scattering received 25 votes for a total of 53 votes. We therefore declare Jake Johnson duly elected to the office of mayor for the term of 2 years. For council member in agency, Andrew Birch, who was a write-in candidate, received 54 votes. Steve O'Brien, write-in candidate, received 27 votes. Sarah Jane Douglas, write-in candidate, received 13 votes for a candidate total of 94 votes. Scattering received 30 votes for a total of 124 votes. We therefore declare Andrew Birch and Steve O'Brien duly elected to the office of council member for the term of 4 years. In the city of Blacksburg for mayor, Mike DeWild, write-in candidate, received 11 votes for a candidate total of 11 votes. Scattering received 16 votes for a total of 27 votes. We therefore declare Mike DeWild duly elected to the office of mayor for 2 years. For council member in Blacksburg, Asa Cope received 35 votes. Cindy DeWild, write-in candidate, received 8 votes. Brenda Smallsreed, write-in candidate, received 7 votes for a candidate total of 50 votes. Scattering received 30 votes for a total of 80 votes. We therefore declare Asa Cope, Cindy DeWild, and Brenda Smallsreed duly elected to the office of council members for the term of 4 years. For council member to fill vacancy in Blacksburg, Christy Leonard received 45 votes. Matt Leonard received 44 votes for a candidate total of 89 votes. Scattering received 2 votes for a total of 91 votes. We therefore declare Christy Leonard and Matt Leonard duly elected to the office of council member to fill vacancy for the remainder of the terms. For Chillicothe for mayor, John W. Richmond received 8 votes for a candidate total of 8 votes. Scattering received 3 votes for a total of 11 votes. We therefore declare John W. Richmond duly elected to the office of mayor for the term of 2 years. For council member in Chillicothe, David Dalby received 10 votes. Alan Johnston received 12 votes. Troy L. Reagan received 7 votes. Deborah Kate Richmond received 10 votes. Rebecca Jacks received 12 votes for a candidate total of 51 votes. Scattering received 2 votes for a total of 53 votes. We therefore declare David Dalby, Alan Johnston, Troy L. Reagan, Deborah K. Richmond, and Rebecca Jacks duly elected to the office of council member for the term of 2 years. In Eddyville for mayor, Phyllis Sutton received 41 votes. Doug Greenlee received 137 votes for a candidate total of 178 votes. Scattering received 4 votes for a total of 182 votes. Councilmember Eddyville, James Sutton received 95 votes. Anthony Leddington, write-in candidate, received 59 votes. Kelly Brogue, write-in candidate, received 28 votes for a candidate total of 182 votes. Scattering received 47 votes for a total of 229 votes. In Eldon for mayor, Michael McClure received 51 votes. Roger Penrod received 68 votes. Jerry Potts, write-in candidate, received 79 votes for a candidate total of 198 votes. Scattering received 31 votes for a total of 229 votes. We therefore declare Jerry Potts duly elected to the office of mayor for the term of 2 years. For council member Eldon, David Showman received 127 votes. Tom Bedford received 147 votes. Stacy Kramer DeGray received 150 votes. George James Lorzell III received 116 votes. And Randy Lee McClure received 84 votes. For a candidate total of 624 votes. Scattering received 13 votes for a total of 637 votes. We therefore declare Stacy Kramer DeGray, Tom Bedford, and David Shulman duly elected to the office of council member for the term of 4 years. In Kirkville for mayor, Terry D. Robinson received 19 votes. So for a candidate total of 19 votes, Scattering received 1 vote for a total of 20 votes. We therefore declare Terry D. Robinson duly elected to the office of mayor for the term of 2 years. For council member in Kirkville, John Bradley Vandenberg received 16 votes. Jeremy Atchison received 16 votes. Mary McCollum received 15 votes. Carl Wills received 17 votes. Sean Strothman received 15 votes for a candidate total of 79 votes. Scattering received 0 votes for a total of 79 votes. We therefore declare John Bradley Vandenberg, Jeremy Atchison, Mary McCollum, Carl Wills, and Sean Strothman duly elected to the office of council member for the term of 2 years. Council member for Ottumwa, Joe Damerville received 643 votes. Bill Hoffman Jr. received 883 votes. Cyan Bosu received 671 votes. Keith D. Cavendish received 781 votes for a candidate total of 2,978 votes. Scattering received 17 votes for a total of 2,995 votes. We therefore declare Bill Hoffman Jr. and Keith D. Cavendish duly elected to the office of council member for the term of 4 years. For school board member for Cardinal, Deb Kent received 262 votes. Devlin Roop received 203 votes. Trevor Brown received 225 votes. Andy Brainerd received 172 votes. Ryan Johnson received 234 votes for a candidate total of 1,096 votes. Scattering received 6 votes for a total of 1,102 votes. For the school board member, Eddie Blakeburg Fremont, Director District 3, Ed Glenn received 94 votes. Nathan Hinton received 81 votes. For a candidate total of 175 votes. Scattering received 1 vote for a total of 176 votes. We therefore declare Ed Glenn duly elected to the office of school board member for the term of 4 years. For EBF School District Director District number 4, Bruce Brogue received 2 votes. Tyrone Lawbrick received 0 votes. Candidate total is 2 votes. Scattering received 0 votes for a total of 2 votes. For EBF Director District 5, Tom Judy received 43 votes. Nicholas Patterson received 24 votes. Randy Reed received 30 votes for a candidate total of 97 votes. Scattering received 1 vote for a total of 98 votes. We therefore declare Tom Judy duly elected to the office of school board member for the term of 4 years. School board member for the Fairfield School District, Megan Dowd Robbins received 0 votes. David Eastburn received 0 votes. Mark Thornton received 0 votes. Nate Wheaton received 0 votes. Timothy Bauer received 0 votes. Teresa Tuvera received 0 votes, and Christy Kessel received 0 votes. Candidate total was 0 votes, scattering 0, total was 0. In that district, we just have land. There's no houses or residents. but we have to still actually canvass, and have ballots in case somebody did. Is there, so that's why that's 0. Fairfield School District School Board member to fill vacancy, Deborah Williamson received 0 votes. Candidate total was 0, scattering was 0, total was 0. School Board member for Ottumwa, Christina Sharp received 1,051 votes. David Walbrenner received 1,254 votes. Brian Jones received 1,056 votes. Morgan Brown received 1,023 votes for a candidate total of 4,384 votes. Scattering received 59 votes for a total of 4,443 votes. We therefore declare Christina Sharp, David Wildrunner, Brian Jones, and Morgan Brown duly elected to the office of school board member for the term of 4 years. For the Pekin School District, school board member, Director District 1, Michael Searin received 42 votes. Candidate total is 42 votes. Scattering received 0 votes for a total of 42 votes. Pekin School District, Director District number 2, Michael Davis received 39 votes. Candidate total is 39 votes. Scattering received 1 vote for a total of 40 votes. Pekin School Board member, Director District number 4, Josh Arndt received 32 votes. Sean Eichelberry received 13 votes. Candidate total was 45 votes. Scattering received 0 votes for a total of 45 votes. Pekin School Board member at large, Kyle David Green received 24 votes. Sherry Demas received 25 votes for a candidate total of 49 votes. Scattering received 0 votes for a total of 49 votes. For Indian Hills Community College, Director District number 6, Kevin Kroll received 301 votes. Candidate total is 309 votes. Scattering received 9 votes for a total of 318 votes. For public measure UV, which was for the Edinburgh Lakes Fremont School District. For the question, there were 255 votes, and against the question, there were 65 votes for a total of 320 votes. For public measure MJ, which was for the Pekin School District. For the question, there were 32 votes. Against the question, there were 4 votes for a total of 36 votes. Ian.
Need a motion to accept the file though, or just
Make a motion to accept the file. Second.
any further discussion? Great job to your office again. This year with elections, I think everything went smooth. I don't think there's any real hiccups other than a little human error. But a couple precincts maybe that didn't really amount to much, so. Thanks for all you guys do. Did we vote on that yet?
Yep.
All right, public hearing FY 23-24 budget amendment. A motion to open the public hearing.
Move to open. Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Kelly, any written or verbal comments?
I have no written.
Verbal?
Let me just go over what the changes were. So we did. So, for the supervisor's budget, Department 1, we did an amendment of like $218,000. And that was for the paving project on Ashland Road, where we had to pay the bill. The landowners will pay us back over, I believe it was a 10-year period. And then that money will go back into basic. For my department, we had to increase the postage line due to a mailing that's come along with House File 718, which I'm not really sure like how much. I just kind of looked at what we did for tax statements to increase that line item by $9,200. When my office flooded, I think it was back in February. Our computers, we had to replace our walls on our desks, and there's something else I don't remember. But anyway, we got insurance money, so we had to purchase new election equipment, which was the cost of $36,000, which I believe we received 30,000 maybe from the insurance company, and I think we had to pay like the $5,000 deductible, which we had to pay to replace the walls for our desks. So since I didn't have anything budgeted for that, so that was that portion. For Department 51, which is building management, we had to adjust that for the superintendent position. We had some building repairs on the county attorney's office. And then for local option sales tax, for the improvements, the costs and stuff for the walk bridge, buying a truck for county conservation. And I don't remember what the last one was for, but and then so we increased our local option sales tax by 250,000 just for expenditures that we're not really sure what's going to come through at this time. And then for Department 99, I just did an amendment for ARPA funds. I just don't want our lines to be negative, so we have the money there. It's just, it wasn't, we have money budgeted for it, but we went over on those line items. And then the other was for liability insurance and workman's comp insurance. What we had budgeted, it was just a little bit more than what we had in that line item.
So over half of this is really ARPA funds, just to kind of clean the books up as much as anything, correct?
Right.
And then the other stuff through insurance, and then, like I said, the landowners paying back the paving
Right.
on that.
The majority of it is just local option sales tax and the ARPA funds. The rest of it, I think my amendment in my department was $40-some thousand, but it was something that, I mean, we have to do it. I mean, it's getting passed down to us, so.
So the total increase to the county is really quite small compared to this whole list. You're suggesting it's about 45,000.
No, for the overall, it was like 1.5, but a majority of that was
Right.
the ARPA funds and
Right.
local option sales tax.
Yeah. Yes.
Motion to approve it.
I'll second.
We got
Yeah,
to,
gotta
we
close
got to
first.
there, close the
Go.
public.
Yep.
Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Motion to close it.
I'll second that.
Resolution number 58, 2023, FY 23-24 budget amendment. Now you can make a motion. I make a motion to approve it.
And I'll second.
Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Public hearing on first reading of ordinance for assessment of wind energy conversion property. Need a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll move to open.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Written comments, Kelly, anything? Verbal comments. Jeff left, right?
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to this at all?
No,
Pretty standard.
I just wanted to stop there
Yep.
and, we're supportive of it.
Okay. Yep, as Jeff explained last time, this is how the structures are taxed, and all in all, I think it really helps everybody as far as the way that it's the valuation and the way that it's set up. So any comments?
So how much does this help the county's bottom line as far as, the tax base goes? I mean, the county's kind of stretched a little bit on some of that. Does this kind of help that over the long run, do you think, or?
Probably not. Okay. And here's why I say this, from what we understand, and we're still kind of swimming through this new House file and everything with it, and even what actually is written on it. What we were hoping, what we figured common sense wise was, if you have here's your valuation for this year. Now, Don Phillips goes and builds a house worth $1 million because he can. So that increases the valuation, which should increase our tax base. But what they're saying, from everything we understand of this, and Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but they made it pretty clear at the thing we were at, that that's not the way it works. So what we're hoping is the new revenue from home builds, from wind turbines to things like that, that we'd be able to capture that above our 3% that we could raise or whatever, that number comes out being. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case right now. So again, we're hoping we get some more movement somewhere on that. We're hoping the legislators see to some degree, how this hamstrings a lot of areas. So,
Are you certain of that? I'm
No.
not certain that's how it works.
well, from the meeting we went to, the new income was not, how do I want to say it? A new pot of money. That it still was, whatever that valuation was. The formula of multiplying it by 102 or dividing it by 102%, multiplying it by 1,000 still goes into what we can ultimately raise or what we have to lower the tax rate. I hope you're right.
I will
hope-
check
Oh,
on that. I mean,
please.
has a big impact probably on the working.
Absolutely.
If that is the case.
Yes,
I mean, it decreases the incentive for you guys to do these projects.
right.
Yeah, it doesn't help either one of us out.
Yeah, but that was one of our main questions when we went up to that seminar with this was, we had remind me of our new growth for buildings. Do you remember off the top of your head? I got the paper over on my $700,000 or something like that, I think is what it looked like with us. And from what ISAC's saying, that's not how it's working. So, yeah, I hope it's being
I'll
misinterpreted.
do some checking.
Thank you.
Yeah, could you do that? And then also, could you project how many windmill structures would be built in a certain time frame?
In a time frame of when they would be built,
Like 1 year, 5 years?
it would, the projects, once we get it under construction, would only take a year to have all, and we'd be looking somewhere between 65 and 100 turbines. I think, let me double check that.
So yeah, if you
60, between 66 and 100. And we're not looking at construction, probably for the 4 year, 3-4 years.
it'd be nice to have that information from you, and then we'll go to the assessor and see where that takes us.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem.
And I think there was talk that you could reap more of it if you tipped the area. Which,
Yeah, I'm not an expert on this taxing policy, so I would have to double check.
yeah, I'd love for you to do that, whoever you have up.
Yeah, we can see what we can figure out.
And if that is the case, maybe I'm sure you guys have some lobbyists somewhere too that can help
Yeah, we do.
with that.
If that is the case, and that is something that we would want to see change as well, because we would definitely want to see the money go to the counties. You guys are the ones making decisions.
Right. Yeah, no, it would go in, we just wouldn't be able to necessarily use it. How's that?
Yeah.
Makes
okay.
sense?
It was, and I could be understanding it completely wrong, but it's kind of my understanding that new construction, that 3% sits on reval, what's considered reval, not new construction.
What do you remember from that, Kelly?
It was my understanding that what we taxed for basic, we couldn't go over 3%. Of what we did on
revaluation.
last year's budget.
I think that's a revaluation. So when we assess a property and we change the value of it, we have to put a reason code in why we're doing that, whether it's revaluation or new construction. And I think that's where anything we put in as revaluation is where that 3% limitation is gonna come from. I don't, and I could be wrong, I very well could be wrong, but that's kind of been our understanding in the Assessors Association of it, I believe.
Well,
Well,
luckily they'll have this written in January. When we've already started.
Know what they mean.
Right.
Sorry.
No, right. No, and there's also a level of it where I don't even know how much valuation is gonna play into it unless it is a low valuation increase. Like a no valuation increase, then we can go back up to the 350 levy. Otherwise, we have to start lowering that general levy. And then we pull from supplemental to put into general.
Right, which we have everything in supplemental that we can put in supplemental at this
Right.
time. Which supplemental doesn't have a cap on it, but then you're also limited to what you can spend out of supplemental. I mean, it's just not like you can say, we're gonna put salaries in supplemental and pay them, because we can't. It's like insurance.
We
FICA
could put like
NIFRS.
half of Kelly's salary in supplemental because of elections.
So
If that,
2 election employees is paid out of supplemental because they do the election a lot. A majority of their job is with elections, so that.
We should talk about that. I think if one of you guys would like to join us for maybe a call sometime, maybe we could try to figure this out.
that'd be great.
I'm gonna have to head to the P and Z meeting though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would love to. I think it's to our benefit to make sure we're
Yeah.
on that straight too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Chad? We don't know. Sometimes when you don't know, you just gotta say I don't
Best
know.
answer we do.
Theoretically, I mean, make a lot of sense if the county was able to recoup that, but this is all part of, you know, the new
See,
bill.
so the biggest talk becomes, especially in those counties that are over the 350 levy, is it's gotta be brought down, but yet you have to do it without a valuation increase. Or without that growth. So that was a lot of talking at that seminar on that. So that's where a lot of that comes from, to where that not being tied. Valuation is a key, but there's a level of it that says it's really the percent increase of our levies, not even so much the valuation. That clears mud on that. So. We'll learn more as we go. You know, we want to try to start budget stuff like next month because of the new dates and everything else with it, but again, it makes it tough because until that's actually written and we know for a fact of what it's been passed, but it hasn't totally been written yet.
It just seems like, you know, the legislators ought to be able to explain, you know, what this bill
Or somebody,
does.
I mean, even
for cities
ISAC,
or counties.
you know, even ISAC or Department of Management's having trouble. You know, they have questions with it, so. Any other comments? Need a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close it. Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that constitutes our first reading?
Yep.
All right, number 6, tax suspension under Iowa Code 427.8. This is one that's been done in the past. And was we checking on this to see?
So, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's the,
that was one. That's, and I had sent that over to the treasurer to ask about that, because with the letter that he had a letter within his paperwork that he got from the Iowa Department of Human Services that said it could be, his property tax relief could be under 427.9. Instead of 427.8, but I was given the paperwork back I was instructed to do it this way.
okay, so we'll do the 427.8 today to get us suspended for this year. We'll look at the 427.9 coming back. The difference in those is if it's a DHS, then it's done as long as they live at that house, so. And there's
Right, as
certain
long as they
parameters
meet
that,
the-
meet
The
those.
qualifications, and we
Correct.
don't have to do it every year.
So I need a motion to accept, the section 427.8.
I'll make the motion to accept it.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 59, 2023, abate public nuisance, 11,458 Copperhead Road.
I looked into this with Kevin down there and the aerial photo. This guy's actually got junk spread clear across the neighbor's property too, so. It's gonna be, I think they're looking at going in and cleaning up at our expense and adding it to them, so. I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Personnel, payroll approval, new hire, part-time CO.
The part-time male position is the Indian Hill student that's middle workforce.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Payroll approval, change of employment, assistant jail administrator.
Just the fill-in position that was opened by the hiring of the building superintendent to Kelly's office, and then promotion jail administrator Jason J. Lee Goodwin to fill that position.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Other business, treasurer investment report, October 2023. Need a motion to accept and file.
I'll make a motion to accept and file it.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other business come before the board?
I just have one thing for you guys. It's into kind of what you guys were talking about a little bit, but back earlier this year, you guys did a letter of support for a federal grant. I got notified by Congressman Zach Nunn's office and also received the email that we got the $250,000 federal grant for the 2 deputies positions. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that.
Great.
So
Awesome.
this will.
You didn't write the grant then.
Huh?
You must not have.
No, the chief deputy did. He wrote the grant, so I did approve it and signed it though. But no, Marty's a wizard with words and does an outstanding job with that. And so we got awarded that. So I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Is that a 4-year, 5-year?
It's a 3-year grant that yeah, it's a 3-year grant. So I wanted to say it expanded. I guess I didn't look at it. I think it's goes over 5 years, gives you like a year to get things in motion. So, but I want to say it's over 5 years, but it's a 3-year grant. Does that make sense? Maybe it don't.
Yeah, usually they do like 25 or percentage.
Yeah, I think it's 40,000 and some change each year for 3 years for that 125,000 per deputy's position. Does that make sense? Seems like the window, it's a 3-year grant, but there's a window to give you some time to get things in motion. And that's the way I understand it, Marty, unless you have some input on it.
Any questions on that, Chad? Anything you want to follow up with Dawn on?
We do have to have a board meeting next week for our 2nd tier canvas.
Could I ask, what's the schedule for board meetings gonna be? And is it, we're gonna continue on the every other, we're gonna meet next week and then the following week and then every other week like we've been doing?
I mean, that's up to you guys.
It's our call, yeah.
That's still the plan.
Yeah.
We just have to have a meeting next week.
Yeah, because, right, okay, so we'll go with that schedule. And then, I had a request from a member of your department, Todd, about a letter of support for some equipment donation. We didn't have it on the agenda, but I don't see any problem with us doing a letter.
They already got the equipment. They got it last week.
Okay, so that's done.
Yeah, so that's finished. We got the vehicle. The thing moved very quickly when we sent that email out. I think it's the next day we got notified
So it's, and what it is an armored vehicle for ERT. There's a assessment value that we have to go through. It's not one of those things that we're doing a search warrant for bank records that, for example, Morgan's Bar, we don't, we wouldn't pull up there in this vehicle. You know, again, that's an example, you know, as he said, if I built $1 million app.
Yeah, got it back.
So, you know, there's, and it's another thing we can use for search and rescue. Back during the, I believe it was 2010 flooding, we had, secondary roads out there with a front end loader pulling people out of Valley Village, if I remember correctly, and this vehicle, we could utilize that instead of having people in the front end loader that were hauling out of there. So it's some other uses for this vehicle. It's not just ERT, but search and rescue and certain things. So when they sent the email out, it moved very quickly. Washington County was not wishing to keep it any longer, so it just worked out that we were able to go there and get the vehicle. So it's currently here at Wapello County.
Thank you.
Yep.
I didn't realize that.
Anything else come before the board?
Now make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?